evening and welcome to Youthful Voices. I'm Elijah Close-Brown.
I'm Christian Bolar, and we are so glad that you have joined us for another dynamic show.
Well, Christian, how you been doing, man? How's your week
I'm
been?
doing great.
Good to see you.
I'm blessed that we made it through those 12 tornadoes yesterday.
Yeah?
Not to mention Hurricane Florence, and that hit the Carolinas.
Yeah, it did dodge us, but we did get hit with that tornado. But the thing is that people are still in danger. There's still flooding going on, and there's still homes destroyed and people who don't have anywhere to go back to. And it's sad because I'm pretty sure 30 people have actually lost their lives because of Hurricane Florence. So we want to keep the families in prayer and everyone who was affected by the storm in prayer as well.
Elijah, I hear you have some great news.
Yeah, Christian, actually, and I want to share this news with our audience because I am actually a motivational speaker and an entrepreneur, and I own my own company, which is called Dreamers Imagine, and I'm a social justice activist as well. But what we're doing is I am on September the 28th, and I know that two things that are happening to us are both happening on the same day, which is really, really cool. But on September the 28th, I'm going to be featured in Richmond Family Magazine, as you can see right here. And I talked about a lot of things in the article, and I'm also going to be on the cover. I talked about topics ranging from education, from voting rights to bullying, a lot of topics that affect young people and old in this nation. So it's free, and I want to encourage everyone to go out and get a copy of the Richmond Family Magazine on September the 28th. But Christian, I want to talk about what's happening with you on September the 28th as well. I hear you dropping a new song.
Yes, sir. Like you just heard on the intro, the song is called "Speak It." The song talks about speaking things into existence, declaring things, putting things in the atmosphere. The whole song is talking about speaking, and you can go download it on any digital platform. You can download it on Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Play.
September the 28th, and that song is such a powerful song, and I want to thank you again, like I said last show, I want to thank you, Christian, for sharing your gift with the people in this community, because a lot of young people, and not even a lot, all young people have a talent. Everyone has something that they can give to the community, and you're utilizing that power that you have within yourself, and you're using it to write inspirational songs, speak about encouraging messages, do volunteer, a lot of things that young people should be doing for their communities. And it's really, you inspire me as a person, despite, and I want to also say something. It's not your age that is affecting what you can do. It's whether or not you put that effort into it. So if you want to close us on out, because we're going to be having a guest pretty soon.
Yes, sir. We have a great guest coming up, and we're going to take a 60-second break and be right back. So make sure that you come back and tune in.
And I want to introduce our guest, Señora Hester. How's it doing? How's it going, Ms. Hester?
Muy bien, Elijah, gracias.
And I want to thank you for coming on the show because it's such an opportunity to have a discussion about foreign language, because foreign language is such a heavily needed skill that's really essential to international affairs. So I want to thank you again for coming on the show. Now, I want to start off by saying that I'm in this wonderful program at Tucker High School, and it's such a wonderful program because it gives students the opportunity to learn the Spanish language and other languages at an early age. So I want to start off by asking you, Ms. Hester, tell us about what about the immersion program and how it's special from a lot of other programs that are going on.
Well, it's one of the many specialty centers that we offer in Henrico County. It is actually the second oldest specialty center, and the original name was the Center for Foreign Languages, or Center for Foreign Immersion at Tucker High School. It was begun in 1993, so quite a few years in this program. It was originally a program to offer languages, which is still what we concentrate and focus in now today. In the late 1990s and the early 2000s, we also offered our courses in French as well. We were the Center for World Languages at that time, Spanish and French. Because of our budget and constraints on finding qualified teachers in French and in the content area, we were unable to carry on and continue the French language. But Spanish has never changed. We maintain our opportunity to offer students a 4-year program where they can immerse themselves in the Spanish language. So they take courses in Spanish, and by the time they leave after 4 years of high school, they are completely bilingual in 2 different languages.
And they get a certificate from the state of Virginia that says they can speak fluent Spanish.
Absolutely. Not only do students that finish our 4-year program, they graduate with a seal from the Spanish Language and Global Citizenship Specialty Center, but they also have the opportunity to earn the seal of biliteracy from the Commonwealth of Virginia, which denotes that they can not only speak the language, but they can read and write in the second language.
And that goes really good on a resume.
Oh, absolutely, my friend. Takes you a long way to know a second language.
And Christian, do you have any questions about the program to ask her?
How's the program been going? What are some of the things that you guys do in the program for any special type of beginners or advanced people?
Well, thank you very much, Christian. We have an application program, so every fall we introduce our program. We go to high schools in the area and we showcase all of the specialty centers in Henrico County. So we specifically showcase our center. With students come and teachers come to show that to be involved in the Spanish language and global citizenship program is a real effort and excitement. So students apply, and usually students have a background, either half a year or 2 of the Spanish language. So that helps on their to kind of springboard their language learning. But once they step in and they're accepted to the program, then they dive right into an immersion program. It's a very intensive and rigorous course that they take as freshmen in the program, as well as, believe this or not, they take physical education and health in Spanish.
Yes,
Can you
ma'am.
imagine that?
That's what I'm doing this year.
I think we have someone enrolled in that program this year. As the years go on, more classes are added in the Spanish language. So they're eventually taking Spanish, world history in Spanish. They're eventually taking algebra in Spanish. They're eventually taking the Spanish language advanced placement course and the Spanish language literature course. So lots of reasons and opportunities to develop their language in our program during the 4 years.
That's great.
And that's such an awesome program to have in Henrico County, because there are a lot of students that are in Henrico County. It's one of the more heavily populated counties in the Richmond metropolitan area. And so to have that program, that opportunity for students to be able to learn a foreign language and use it in their careers, use it in their everyday lives, is an amazing skill to be able to have, not only for yourself, but to be able to communicate with others that look different from you, speak different languages from you, or from different countries, have different ethnic backgrounds. So I want to thank you for being so persistent and being so well informed in the Spanish language that you're able to use it to teach others about how to go about speaking Spanish.
Well, you're absolutely welcome. It's part of who I am, Elijah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Now, I want to mention, because I know there are a lot of well-known people that are graduates from this program. And I want to ask you about some of those people that you know of that are well-known throughout the community.
Well, I will say this. When you graduate from the program and you are bilingual, you're making yourself more marketable. You're making yourself more available in the networking system. And as well, you're not only making yourself as a bilingual student, but as a citizen, more of a global citizen. So you see a different perspective on life. You have, over the 4 years, studied and kind of opened your eyes to see different cultures, different regions, different perspectives of people, which make us better, smarter people. And as well, when you study a second language and a third language, which we require 1 year of a third language as well in our program, it helps you to understand the English language even better and how it functions. But when you leave the program, you can really write your ticket anywhere, Elijah. We have students that have gone to MIT, to the University of Virginia, to the Fine Arts program at the University of New York. They have gone everywhere. Townsend, Texas, the Citadel, all over. They have written their own ticket.
That is so
and that is
amazing.
because they have those skills and they have proven those skills. Not only do they step into college this way, but they also step into college with credits that they've already earned in Spanish. And so they move up in the levels in their Spanish language when they arrive at college. But you mentioned famous people. We have a couple famous people that graduated from the program. One person that graduated from the program who you may well know, and it's been in the TV and in our political scene, especially here in Virginia lately, is Abigail Spanberger. Abigail Davis Spanberger graduated from the Center for World Languages, Foreign Languages at that time, in Spanish in 1997. She was actually the first graduating class.
Wow.
Yes. So, and she gives testimony and has returned to talk to our students at the Center for Spanish Language and Global Citizenship. And she says, it was there where my love of languages began. And it was there that I realized it could take me a long way.
And that's such a powerful thing to hear, that she was able to graduate from this program and go on to become someone involved in our government.
Absolutely. And you see on her commercials that she advertises that she's been in the CIA. Well, she has, using her alias in Central and South America.
Wow.
By using her language.
And being able to utilize that knowledge of the Spanish language, of foreign languages, to be able to go out in different countries and be able to speak their tongue.
Absolutely. And she's using that in her campaign to identify and understand and be able to communicate with the Latino community across the state of Virginia. Also, we have another famous person. I don't know if you know about this, but Michael Schmidt graduated from our program in 2009. He is a journalist for the New York Times, and has just been awarded as the American Journalist by and won a Pulitzer Prize.
Whoa.
So again,
That's
the
awesome.
language has opened doors of opportunity for him as he travels and as he writes as a journalist for the New York Times.
Wow, that is amazing, to say the least. That's such an amazing thing to have some of these great people graduate from this immersion program, because it's a lot of people underestimate the power of foreign languages. A lot of people think that, oh, you take Spanish, you get out, you'll forget about it. But the thing is, when you take Spanish, when you take French, when you take Chinese, those go such a long way in your future, in your in present. Being able to speak another language besides the one that you are normally used to, that's such a powerful thing that can carry you much farther than a lot of people may think.
Yes, like you said, it can carry you very far in life. Like if you go somewhere and you need something, but you don't, and let's say if you didn't go to that class, if you didn't go to that program, you can need something very important and it could change your whole life. And just to have that experience, it can change your whole life if you went to another country, went to Mexico, went anywhere, and you can communicate. And also, you can help other people communicate. You can earn a big job as being I forgot what it's called.
Translate?
Yeah,
Oh,
translator.
there you go.
Wow.
Yeah, being a translator, it can get you like very far places. Being on TV shows.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's true. And it looks really good on a resume. It could carry you to basically any college that you actually want to go to. And it's such an opportunity to be able to learn the language. Now, another question I want to ask you, and because I know there is a little program within the Spanish immersion program, and that is being able to travel to Madrid, Spain for 2 weeks.
We do. We offer every other summer, we offer a study abroad program. We are the only center, specialty center, in Henrico that offers a study abroad program where students can go to a Spanish-speaking country. We have chosen Spain, and they actually go to school in the mornings and have cultural activities in the afternoon and the evenings, and actually earn a high school credit for being involved
Wow.
and immersed in this culture.
And I love that, and I'm definitely going to Spain this year because that's an opportunity that I don't want to miss. Being able to go to Spain and speak to other kids my age that speak Spanish as well, and being able to learn from them and be able to have a conversation with them in another language. That's an opportunity that I don't want to miss, and I'm sure other kids in the program don't want to miss as well, because it's a once-in-a-lifetime chance, or I guess two, because you could go for every other year. But it's such a great experience, I would imagine, and I'm definitely going to be able to.
Students actually live with Spanish families, which really increases the depth of their language and understanding of common everyday activities as they live with Spanish families and take on the culture, the food, how the system is, the schedule. So it is a very enriching experience for students to travel and do that.
Wow, that's awesome. And you've been to Spain. You've been with them, right?
I have, as well as lived in Spain, so I know a little bit about the country since I've lived there for 9 years. So in going back, I will make connections and make sure students are in the right place and they're safe, and all of the things that they need to make sure they have a good experience are in place.
Wow, that's awesome. Now, and I understand that in this trip to Spain, they're doing a fundraiser in the program as well. Now, and I want to ask you how to tell some of the audience members how the community can help with the fundraiser.
Oh, absolutely. Any opportunities that you have for our students to get involved, please contact me at Tucker High School in the Spanish Language and Global Citizenship Program. But we have, for example, not this Saturday, but the following Saturday, the 29th, we have a free car wash, and you get your lunch taken care of as well at the Southern States on West Broad Street. All we ask is a donation after we washed your car and we fed you lunch, and that way students that want to go to Spain are earning their way. Every little bit helps. We're also working with RMC events, and any event in the area or Central Virginia area, they're asking for volunteers. So we volunteer as students and parents, and we help them, and they in turn pay us. And that money is distributed evenly depending on the hours that you've worked as volunteers.
And that's an opportunity, because not only do you get the experience to try to help yourself and other students get the opportunity to go to Spain and live with the Spanish families, but you're also getting the exposure to be able to volunteer and help other people. And it really carries a long way, being able to volunteer and helping others, because and having that compassion to help others. And I want to thank you for obviously directing the program and allowing students to take those opportunities to help others that they don't know, help strangers. And that's great.
Yeah, and it's also great. It's great how they just start from a high school, and then it's great how you guys give them the opportunity to go to Spain, and that can carry them a long way. And just to know they started from a high school, and that can carry them, and maybe into their whole career. And I feel it's a great experience. Just first of all, just getting to know the language, and then how it can carry you very far in life. And I have a question for you.
Sure.
How is the I know it's a great commitment to being in the program, and like what are some of the things that have pushed you to continuing to be a part of the program and be one of the people who help out and do a lot
Well,
of
and
things?
thank you, it's a great question, Christian. This is my second year as director of the Spanish Language and Global Citizenship Program, and I'm thrilled because I brought some new life and new activities toward our program. Several of the things that I've done is I've partnered with community. We have a class called Field Experience, and the first part of the year, students actually go out, immersion students go out to elementary schools and teach Spanish language to elementary schools.
Wow,
Yes.
that's awesome.
And then the second part of the year is an internship. We partner with companies and businesses that are basically Latino companies. They're Virginia Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. We partner with the Latin Ballet. There's actually a liaison, a Hispanic liaison to the Richmond Police Department who we partner with. So we partner with them and send students out beyond the classroom to be able to practice their Spanish language. We also have many, many opportunities, not only at Tucker, but in the Henrico community, to be able to partner together. We sent students to Dumbarton Elementary to translate for kindergarten orientation, believe it or not. We've sent students to other middle and elementary schools during back to school night and parent-teacher conferences to translate, because many of those teachers do not know the Spanish language, but our students do. They know Spanish and English and can help in many ways in the community.
And I want to ask a couple more questions. And one thing I'm interested in is how the Spanish language has affected you personally, because of course it's great to talk about how the Spanish language can affect students that enroll in this program, but I want to talk about your experiences with the Spanish language and how it's affected you to encourage others to get enrolled.
Well, as I said earlier, Elijah, I have lived in Spain. And when you've lived in Spain and you've had a couple of children in Spain and you've had a car wreck in Spain and you have had to shop, and the language becomes very, very vital to be able to understand and live and work in another culture. It also gave me a greater appreciation for my own culture. But that is where I learned to love the language. And we were transferred from Madrid back to America, to the United States here in Richmond. And I say that you can take the girl out of Spain, but you can't take the Spain out of the girl. And so that's where I got involved in teaching high school Spanish. The love that I have in my life for that language and where it could take you, I wanted to spill out and help others. So that's exactly why I'm at Tucker High School in the Spanish Language and Global Citizenship Program.
Now, how long did you live in Spain?
We were there 9 years.
Wow.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
And of course, I want to thank you for coming on the show. There's no opportunity like being able to talk with someone who is fluent in the Spanish language and can encourage others to try to not only get involved with the Spanish language and learn it, but to become involved with it at a very early age. Because if you start early and you practice early and you learn early, then it becomes really ingrained in your brain, and it continues on throughout your years.
Y las oportunidades ya siguen y abren muchas oportunidades y puertas para los estudiantes.
That's great. That's great. I want to again thank you for coming on the show, because and Christian, do you have any final words that you want to share with Miss Hester?
I just want to say thank you for, like Elijah said, thank you for coming on the show. I just want to say I'm overwhelmed with your commitment that you've do you guys do this every day after school? Just the commitment of doing this and been doing this for 2 years And I just want to congratulate you and pray that you have more, accomplish more things. So
Thank you very much.
And thank you for coming on the show. Gracias.
De nada.
Well, and we'll be back in 3 minutes, and I want you all to stay tuned.
Begin to speak. Speak what you believe. Speak the word. Speak it. It's gotta come to pass. Go, go, go. Speak it. Speak it. Speak it. You gotta speak it with your mouth. Want it to come and overcome us. Yes, I'm aware. You gotta speak it. Your victory is in your mouth.
welcome back. I'm honored to introduce our next two guests, Ms. Aseeya Rael, Executive Director of NVA STEM and Chapter Advisor for NVA NSBE Pre-College Initiative, and Anjali Nanjannavar, Vice President of the VCU NSBE Chapter. How you guys doing?
And we want to welcome you to the show. Thank you. Thank you for coming on the show. So, Christian, you want to start off by asking them a question?
Tell us a little bit about Nubian Village Academy and the work that you're doing in STEM.
Well, I'm the co-founder and executive director of Nubian Village Academy. We are now known as NVA STEM, and we were founded September 10th, 2001. So this year marks our 17th year of service to youth. And back, maybe I'll say the first 8 to 9 years of existence, we were a private school that served children pre-K through 8th grade. And over the years, we saw an increase in the need for STEM education. So we kind of honed in our target market and we wanted to expand the program to serve more children. So we now serve third grade through 12th grade, although we still have, the young ones, the kindergartners that still participate in the program. So we've been doing this for 17 years.
And I am a part of NBA STEM and of NSBE. And because NBA STEM is a branch of NSBE, can you just explain what NSBE is and just a little bit of how the national organization got started as well?
Well, NSBE stands for, or NSBE stands for the National Society of Black Engineers. And it was started in 1975. It is the largest student-run organization in the country, and it is divided into 6 regions. So we are in Region 2, and we are proud to say that we also have chapters in Canada, in the Caribbean, in Southeast Asia, and in Africa. And our chapter, with the assistance of the VCU chapter, we started a chapter in Windhoek, Namibia, about 3 years ago.
That's awesome.
And that chapter is at what is now known as the Namibian University of Science and Technology.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing.
I have another question for you guys. What are some of the programs that are offered at NBA STEM?
Well, we have a ton of programs. One of our key programs that attract a lot of students is our aerospace and aviation program.
Yes, that's a great
Now,
one.
that program targets children from 8 to 17 years old, and the students get 4 flight lessons a year, and once they get their first flight lesson, they become a Young Eagles. And then once they are a Young Eagle, they get a membership card. And Young Eagles is a national organization, but they get a membership card that's worth $350, and it gets them in every science and space museum in the country for free, and that includes 2 adults and 2 children. And that membership card lasts them until they turn 18. So all they have to do is come and take 1 flight lesson. So that's one program. And so if the students are interested in aviation, if that flight lesson piques their interest, then they move on to, we have a partnership with the Youth Aeronautics Aviation, or Youth Aeronautics Education Foundation. And that's out in West Point, Virginia. And what the students do is they have an opportunity to build planes, real planes, and they have an opportunity to get their pilot's license. So we've had about 12 students that come through the program to work towards passing that FAA exam. And one of our students who just graduated and is now at Virginia State University as a freshman, he's now flying solo. So
Wow.
all of this is just one of the programs that we offer.
Just being in the program and you can learn to pilot a plane. That's awesome.
This year we're introducing STEM at sea.
Ooh.
So our children will be able to learn how to sail.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're introducing marine biology into the program and taking the kids out on a boat, and they will do everything at sea. We also have a 1080 competition. A 1080 is the children are racing the little remote control cars, and this is a national competition as well. So we have the first Lego League through our professional chapter. And what I want to say before I continue with the program is that the way the NSBE is set up is that our professional chapter mentors the collegiate chapter. And then the collegiate students in the area, they mentor our chapter. And our chapter is the largest PCI, which stands for Pre-College Initiative, in the state of Virginia, Central Virginia. It's the largest one. And so we offer a variety of STEM activities on Sunday from 2 to 4 at VCU School of Engineering. So we've been partnering with VCU for, I want to say 7 years now. So it's been great.
And I've been in this program for about 4 years, and this is an excellent program to learn about basically anything that involves in STEM. And I've actually been the president of our chapter for about 2 years. And this program, NBA STEM, allows you to learn anything about anything that involves with STEM, because believe it or not, every career has some form or fashion of science, technology, engineering, or math, and the mix of some of them in between. And it's amazing because a lot of the things that you think don't involve STEM do involve STEM, and you get to learn about it in a classroom-like environment with some of your peers that you may know and you may not know, but you get to know on a personal level. And I actually want to ask you, what's the success rate of some of the students that participate in NESP?
Well, we are proud to say that so far we've served 300 students, and all of our students who have participated, even if they participated for 1 year, have gone on to a university or college. And 92% of the students who participated in our program have majored into a STEM field.
That's awesome. Another quick question. Because I've been in this program for about 4 years, and I want you to explain about some of the trips that you take, because I have been on a couple of the trips, and they are an opportunity like no other. And I just want you to explain some of the things you do during these trips.
Well, we have several field trips a year that's locally. Usually we attend the USA Science and Engineering Festival that is held every other year in DC. But one of our cornerstone trips is that we take the kids to the National Society of Black Engineers National Convention. And so when we first started, we took them to Toronto. Over the years, they've gone to Anaheim, California.
And I went to Anaheim. I love California.
And Pittsburgh, St. Louis, Missouri, Nashville. We've even gone to Boston 1 year, and the students got a chance to tour Harvard University and MIT. And so these are students that are in our program, but the students come from 52 schools in 10 districts.
I didn't even know that.
And this year, I mean, we've had a huge success. This year, we have students that's traveling all the way from Stanford, Virginia, to attend our program.
That's crazy. That's because, and it's not even crazy to the fact where I don't believe that people would travel from Stanford, Virginia to be in this program, but I think it's crazy the fact that there are people who understand the power in this program and the commitment that they should put forth if they want to engage in a career in science, technology, engineering, and math. And I'm glad to hear that people are coming all the way from Stanford to be a part of this program, because this program it should be more of a reach for other people, because a lot of people don't know about it, and it's sad because of what this program does for young people and even adults. It also teaches adults some lessons as well in their field, some adults that are in the science, technology, engineering, and math field, and it allows them to give their children a chance to engage in their careers and in their futures and find out what they want to do with their lives.
Yeah, and I want to ask, how can the community offer to support the program?
Well, let me just say, our program has quietly grown in mass numbers, and that speaks to the work that we're doing. It's spreading through word of mouth, so we haven't had to market or spend any funds on marketing, so everybody just spreads the word. But this year we are we're actively looking, because we have a whole staff of volunteers, and primarily our VCU students really support us. We have a partnership with Virginia Tech University. This year we're working with Virginia State University. In the past we worked with Virginia Union University. So the collegiate students, remember what I said, NESP is the largest student-run organization, so the students are there to mentor these young folks. And we are looking for more professional members from the community. We have a biomedical research competition where we're actively seeking medical professionals to come in and help out and to sponsor that program. We are seeking to raise $5,000 to give out for scholarships for our high school seniors this year. Other ways that community members can support us, we are always looking to offset that bus. This year we're going to Detroit, and last year we took 2 buses, 90 students to Pittsburgh. This year I'm not sure how many students will be traveling with us because our chapter has grown so large, but it really offsets the cost if we can raise the funds for the bus.
Yeah.
So that is something that we are looking, so we need professionals to volunteer and we need funding. We operate off of the whole program is run on volunteers, so it's a very small budget.
It's a small budget, but it's a big program, and it's
Yes,
a big
it is.
opportunity
Yes.
for the students. And I want to actually take this time to open up the phone line while we continue to talk. But I want to ask you how you learned about NSBE and how you personally became a member in it.
Well, when I had the private school, one of the parents was an engineer, and she invited me to attend the National Society of Black Engineers convention in Toronto. So she and I took our sons, and I just couldn't believe I didn't know about NSBE. What I witnessed was, I want to say 10,000 students from all across the country there learning about STEM. There was 350 businesses and corporations and colleges there recruiting students, and so I just got so turned on that when I came back, I was actively seeking where is the NSBE chapter, and there was one, but that chapter was supporting at the time high school students only. So I was charged to open up a chapter that served the elementary and middle school, and later we expanded to high school. So I actually found out about it through a parent.
And Ms. Anjali, I want to ask you some questions as well, and I want to ask you how you became a member of NSBE.
So my story with NSBE actually began 3 years ago, also at convention. So Boston, Massachusetts was my first convention, and I actually didn't really know anything about NSBE at that time. It was one of my friends that said, hey, there's this big convention in Boston, and there are a lot of companies represented there, so I think that you should go. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll go. I want a job. But see, the thing is I got there and I was surrounded by my peers. So our chapter takes about 40 to 50 people. Our collegiate chapter at BCU takes about 45 to 50 people every year. And when I went there, I was surrounded by all these people that I went to the same school as, but I didn't know any of them.
Whoa.
Yeah, exactly. And so as I went there, it's like we went as a big family of 45 to 50 people.
And yeah, and the thing about NSBE and NVA STEM is that when you do these activities, when you're learning about these topics, you're doing it as a family and you're getting to know each other, and it not only provides an opportunity for you to learn and educate yourself, but it also provides you an opportunity to become learn communication skills, to learn teamwork skills, to learn compassion, a lot of things that are essential to careers in the workforce.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Actually, before I joined NSBE, when I went there and I got there with all my peers, I found that everybody was very quick to accept me. There was never a time where I felt like I was lost or I didn't know what to do. And even when I was navigating the career fair, I knew that if I ever needed help or someone to talk to, like someone that had already interviewed for a company or had already worked there, I could just go up to them, put in a message in the group chat, or even find them in person, and say, hey, I'm looking to talk to this company. Can you help me? Can you give me some tips about what they do and what they represent and how to present myself well? And I think at this point, I've probably done about 16 plus interviews.
Whoa.
At this point, and I'm not even nervous anymore.
Yeah, and
What is your major?
I'm studying chemical engineering. I'm in my senior year.
wow.
And I've technically had 5 internships so far. So that's 18 months of full-time experience.
Whoa. And a question I want to ask, because you talked about the career fairs and the opportunity to go there, can you explain to the audience about those career fairs and some of the companies that attend those career fairs and how you can get job opportunities and have to bring your resume?
Yeah, absolutely. So the career fair at NSBE is represented by about 200 plus big companies, and these are all the big players. So you have your Fortune 500 companies, you even have Fortune 50 companies. So to name a few, there's GE, there's Honeywell, there's ExxonMobil, there's BP, Dow. All big companies that are looking for engineering and business students across all majors, basically. And when you go there, it's a little bit overwhelming at first. You walk in, it's 5,000 people
Yeah.
with the same goal as you. Get a job, and end up somewhere that you want to work for the rest of your life. So really what you have to do is learn how to navigate situations like that, and you have to learn how to compose yourself. You have to learn how to talk to an employer. You have to learn how to be personable while also presenting your skill set. And in our collegiate chapter, we do a lot of that preparation beforehand. So we'll host events throughout the year. So for example, right before I came here, I just came from an event that we hosted in conjunction with Career Services at BCU and IBM.
And you're a graduate at BCU?
I will graduate in May.
Okay, all right.
And I have a question. What was the thing that drove you into doing what you're doing now? Like, how did it all start?
Engineering specifically?
Yes.
I was lucky enough to have a family that put engineering on my mind early on. So my mom studied electrical engineering in college, and my dad wanted to study engineer, but he wasn't able to make it into the program. So he did physics instead. But right from the start, my parents were telling me, study engineering, like that's a really good field. If you want to get a job as soon as you get out of college, engineering is a good field to go into. And they were right from the get-go. I knew that if I did if I did a major in engineering, then I would be set as soon as I graduated. So 4 years of hard work for a lifetime of comfort,
Yes.
right? So because I was lucky enough to do it, to know about it right from the beginning, I decided that I wanted to start communicating the same possibilities for students that may not have parents that are telling this right from the beginning. So that's where outreach with NSV plays a big role. The PCI chapter, the NSV Junior chapter, does a really, really good job of that. But it's important to continually reach out to the community, and we do a lot of that at our chapters. So we go to elementary schools and we work with kindergartners, elementary, fifth graders, kindergartners through fifth graders, doing different engineering activities, so like launching a catapult or building a hydropower dam out of sticks, foam, and water.
Huh.
Yeah, so, and those have really high success rates, because when at the beginning of the class you ask kids what they want to be when they grow up, and they're like, they say various things, like all are good, right? So there's no such thing as a bad major choice, but you don't hear as much STEM coming up. You hear a lot of,
Player.
Yeah.
Sports player.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm seeing like a big uprise in people wanting to be nurses as well, which is really cool, but I'm not hearing like electrical engineer, civil engineer, chemical engineering.
And engineers is, especially in the African American community, engineers is something that we lack, but we truly need to get more Black people involved in engineering, because it's essential for us to be able to have engineers.
Right.
Well, let me tell you, there are studies that show that by the year 2025, 80% of the jobs out here are going to require a STEM skill set.
Yes,
So
I've definitely
we are
heard that
on a
before.
national push to increase the numbers of students interested in STEM. And I wanted to say, I was laughing when you said that when you went to the convention center and the career fair, and how it can be very nerve-wracking. And one of the things that we do to prepare students at a young age is, starting at 3rd grade, the students are getting resume building workshops.
Yeah.
So our students show up to that national convention just like the college students, with their resumes in hand. And I coach them to interview the company. Don't have the company interview you.
Yep.
And so they get practice from 3rd grade. And some of the company, the folks that's there doing the interview, they say, wow, I've never seen a 3rd grade or a 5th grade resume before. But our kids are so bright, and we have them well prepared when they enter into that big arena of 300 companies and 5,000 folks, so
And
yes,
let me tell you, it makes a difference.
it does.
Because in the engineering field, you have all kinds of different personality, but even if you do personality tests across engineers, you typically, like the larger mass gears tends towards introverts, because just of the nature of the major. It's detail oriented, you're very much to yourself sometimes in some of the roles, like especially a lot of the computer science roles. So if you can teach a student how to be outgoing and how to present themselves to an employer right from the get-go, they're in immediately.
Yeah.
The employer remembers them and they won't forget them.
And that really does make a difference. And Kristen, you can continue. I'm sorry.
You're right. I think that is great. Just like you said, you're starting with third graders and fifth graders. It's great giving them a opportunity to start at such a very young age. Like me and Elijah, we're already doing great things. Like we have a TV show, and just interviewing people like you, getting the people out in the community, so like you guys can get more students. You can become more successful than you are now, and you guys are already successful, and the best is yet to come. So I think it's just great how the kids start at a young age and they can progress to being older and getting into colleges like you are, getting into colleges, getting an education. And like Elijah, to say what Elijah said, I lost my train of thought. Talking about, oh, good.
No, I was going to say, it's okay. One of our missions this year, because you said getting the word out, we said that if we can serve 100, we can serve 1,000. So our mission is to increase those numbers. There's a national push to increase the numbers of students in engineering. And so here we're charging our students to spread the word. Tell your friends at school, tell your neighbor, tell your siblings and your cousins, get the word out so that we can increase those numbers.
And a question I want to ask actually both of you is because there's a lot of students that may worry about colleges and like student loans and all that stuff. Now, can you explain about how not only NSBE helps with like funding and scholarships, and explain how scholarships can help, and just being really focused on your career path and how that can help you through college?
So one thing that I want to put out there is the government offers help. You just have to put in the application and the work. And sometimes that can be hard, but there are a lot of resources out there. There are a lot of people that are willing to put in the help that you need to fill out your tax forms to get your, it's called the FAFSA, which stands for the, oh my gosh, I'm blinking. Financial aid, or, oh wow, oh my gosh, I say FAFSA
It's
so
fine.
often that I don't remember the acronym.
It's okay.
But it's student aid, basically. It's federal student aid. That's what the FSA and FAFSA stands for. And basically, it's very similar to the way that you fill out your tax form. And when you fill that out, many schools have a bottom threshold for family income. And if you're below that bottom threshold, you can get half of your college paid for. You can get all of your college paid for. And then they offer scholarships through that program as well for students that are need-based. For the first 3 years of my college career, FAFSA actually took me through college.
Wow.
If I didn't have it, yeah, I wouldn't have been able to get through all these 3 years of college. And now I've set myself up to a point where now that FAFSA isn't benefiting me as much as it used to, the 18 months of internship and work experience that I had working full-time and making a full-time salary, I have enough money to pay off for my last year.
Well, please let them know that don't wait. Like a lot of high school students wait until their senior year to apply
Yes.
for college. We have been prepping kids as young as kindergarten. I didn't know it at the time, but we had a workshop and we learned that you can start applying for scholarships as young as kindergarten.
Yeah.
And that money will sit and wait for you. So this year we just put out a whole long list of scholarships for our students to apply for. So we are getting them ready and getting them ready early.
And can you let the audience members know whether they're adults that want to teach their kids or young people that are tuning into the show about how NSBE helps with scholarships and where they can go to apply for some of these scholarships?
Well, once you become a member, whether it be a local member, a member at large, or a collegiate member or a professional member, there are scholarships that are available to them online.
Yeah, and at the NSBE convention, I want to say that the National Society of Black Engineers, they give away at the
Millions of
dollars worth of scholarships, but even if you're not a member of NSBE, it's just as simple as going online and applying for a scholarship. And can you give some tactics about applying for a scholarship? Because I know a lot of high school students worry about like getting into college and getting into the career path. So just some of the things they can do when it comes to applying for scholarships.
Well, one thing that I would say to focus on, and this one actually really helped me going into college, is sometimes Local scholarships are really good to focus on, and talk to your high schools and talk to your guidance counselors and your college career centers if your school offers it. A lot of the times they have lists of local scholarships that are available for you. So applying for the national scholarships are really good, like the NSBE National Scholarship, which they have. They also have PCI scholarships. Those are really, really good to apply to and to get your foot in the door. But think about the pool that you're competing against. On a national level, you're competing against everybody nationally. And you still have a really good chance of getting it if you put in the work for the application. But think about the pool that you're competing against for local scholarships. I had a few local scholarships coming into school, and I was competing against, maybe 4 or 5 people for some of them. Because sometimes you forget that not all the time do people actually take the time to put in the application. So if you start applying, if you focus on both local and national, you're increasing your chances by a lot to get the scholarships, and that can help you fund your first year of college, which gets your foot in the door, and then you can get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Now, I just want to thank you guys for coming on the show, sharing how we can, like you said, there's not a lot of blacks in the engineering program. We can get a bigger encourage and get a bigger population of the community of engineering. And I want to say thank you for sharing what you do with us, and thank you for coming on the show.
And I want to say that, again, I want to thank you not only for coming on the show, but for staying committed and staying really focused on this engineering program for this amount of time that you have done it and for doing it. And I want to thank all of our audience for watching, and we will see you next Tuesday. Thank you.
Thank you.
Come on, everybody, it's time to speak. Begin to speak. Speak what you believe. Speak the word. Speak it. It's gotta come to pass. Go.